Hello and welcome back to my channel, Men with Mare. All right, you all, you've been waiting for it. Here it is.
And look,
I've got a cardigan on for you all. It's a little clown-like, it feels like I could be at the circus, but I love anything that's funky and fun like that. This video will be analyzing Betty from a queer lens. So let me just state a few things first before we get into this. Music is up for interpretation. There's no right or wrong way when it comes to what these songs mean for you. I know that some people that I've seen on the internet get really somewhat aggressive when it comes to the notion of there being a queer undertone in the song. Look, none of us have the authority to say that we know exactly what a song is about. So it's best if there's no aggressive rhetoric that's going to come from either side, either versions that I do of this song, okay? I don't think that's going to occur on my channel, but you never know, so I'm just bringing it up. Whenever the question of sexuality comes up, I want to be very careful with it. That's why it took me so long, is because I know how damaging it can be to young people whenever sexuality is discussed in a black and white, right or wrong. In anything in life, it really shouldn't be that way. But I want to make sure that we don't fall into that trap. When you look at this from the perspective of James, who could be closeted in high school, man, it changes the song. I have so much compassion for her. Now, when it's James, the man,
not so much.
Mentioned already in the cardigan video, Taylor used the names of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' daughters, and their names are Inez, Betty, and James. So yes, their daughter is named James. Therefore, it's not that far-fetched to believe that this is about a queer relationship. If Taylor wanted it to be interpreted as a straight song, she wouldn't have used the names of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' children. She knows us. She knows her fans. She knows how we'll read into things. She probably could foresee that there were going to be some different types of interpretations for this. Okay, enough explaining why I'm doing it from this lens. I shouldn't have to, but I did. And let's just go.
Your homeroom, but I think it's 'cause of me.
Okay. Gonna be stopping a lot. So I feel as if this is a story of two girls that are in high school who are struggling with their sexuality and feelings toward each other, and they probably can't communicate it properly. And that is for lots of reasons, but the obvious one is the immense social pressures that are around them. So that social pressure can be so great if there's any whispers about the two of them that might lead to Betty switching her homeroom to avoid any more rumors, because we can feel like everything's about us, but sometimes people really are watching us. And so if they're in the same homeroom and let's say that they laugh with each other or they smile or look their way or talk a little too much, and if there's already rumors there in high school, you know, people will take that and run with it. You can do next to nothing and people will talk about you. Likely some truth here, so it makes even more sense why Betty changed the homerooms because of her.
Betty, one time I was riding on a skateboard when I passed your house. It's like I couldn't breathe.
Okay, so James is riding her skateboard. Side note, isn't Betty the name of a TV show that's about queer girls that are skateboarding? Just,
you know,
saying it's like I couldn't breathe. It's like the enormity of the emotions that she feels is like literally sucking the wind out of her lungs. Oh.
You heard the rumors from Inez. You can't believe a word she says most times, but this time it was true.
Oh, I feel like this time it was true. The way that she sings it, it makes me feel for James. It's kind of heart-wrenching that she's admitting that these rumors are true.
The worst thing that I ever did was what I did to you.
I actually feel the remorse here, for sure.
I just showed up at your party. Would you have me? Would you want me? Would you tell me to fuck myself or lead me to the garden? In the garden, would you trust me if I told you it was just a summer thing? I'm only 17. I don't know anything, but I know I missed you.
It's just just crazy how you can just see that where she's coming up to the door and it's like, will you have me? Will you send me away? It's very cinematic, or lead me to the garden. Summer in the American imagery is linked to brief but intense romances, and it's often a part of like a coming of age story. And this probably has to do with things like school being out, parents that are still having to work, heat, the bodies on the beaches, intensity of knowing that summer is really limited. So she's saying, I don't know anything, but I know I miss you. Like, I don't know where I fall on the spectrum of sexuality, but I know that I miss you. It's beautiful. Okay, let's keep going.
Betty, I know where it all went wrong. Your favorite song was playing from the far side of the gym. I was nowhere to be found. I hate the crowds, you know that. Plus, I saw you dance with him.
Okay, so think about that. So Betty's favorite song was playing, and I think that she was looking for James because she's saying, I was nowhere to be found. I hate the crowds, you know that. I get the image in my head at a dance in high school that Betty's looking around like,
Where's James? This is my favorite song.
and she's nowhere to be found. She's like, yeah, I was nowhere to be found because I hate the crowd and I saw you dance with him. So James might have seen that and taken it as, okay, well, you don't want me, or you wouldn't be interested in someone of the same sex. You know, it has to be very confusing, and it sends a mixed message that's a lot more understanding than if James was a man. You know, I have so much compassion for James as a female in this. It's just like, because it sounds as if Betty takes the fact that James was nowhere around whenever her favorite song was coming on as a rejection, and it looks like James took seeing her dancing with a guy as a rejection, and not just a rejection. It might be James might have looked at it that Betty isn't actually interested in girls, possibly. Okay, let's keep going.
I was nowhere to be found. I hate the crowds, you know that. Plus, I saw you dance with him. You heard the rumors from Ignace. You can't believe a word she says most times, but this time it was true. The worst thing that I ever did was what I did to you. But if I just showed up at your party, would you have me? Would you want me? Would you tell me to go fuck myself? Or lead me to the garden? In the garden, would you trust me if I told you it was just a summer thing? I'm only 17, I don't know anything, but I know I miss you. I was walking home on broken cobblestones, just thinking of you when she pulled up like a pigment of my worst intention.
Okay, wait. I've got to stop just because this ties back to Cardigan, broken cobblestones. Betty talked about walking on high heels and cobblestones. I think that broken cobblestones, the broken part can represent both Betty's heart and James's heart. It also represents James's
Big reputation, big reputation.
thanks to Inez. So a figment of my worst intentions. That means that James is being honest that she willingly went.
Said, James, get in, let's try. Boys, days turned into nights. Slept next to her, but I dreamt of you all summer long.
So look, August shows up and says, hey, get in. I think August might be out. I think that August represents a freedom that James isn't allowed to have with Betty now, or doesn't think ever. James is finally allowed to accept and explore her sexuality, despite it not being with the girl that she wants it to be with. Just saying that she dreamt of her all summer long. You know, dreamt that the person that was laying next to them was actually Betty. Experiences that she was having with August that she was actually having with Betty. And we all kind of know that. Unrequited love, it's absolutely painful. So I have so much compassion for her.
It's hard.
Betty, I'm here on your doorstep, and I planned it out for weeks now, but it's finally sinking in.
all she wants to do is make it up to her. She realized that it hurt her. James planned this for weeks, means that she acknowledges how badly she really did mess up, and that it's finally sinking in. It calls to mind like the idea of like a sinking ship's, your heart sinking. That James, she's finally understanding and realizing the gravity and the weight of her actions. It feels like she's just been perseverating on what would happen whenever Betty finally sees her, knowing that she knows. It's just that James has been avoiding her for a long time in anticipation of what's going to happen in this moment. Am I going to be rejected or am I going to be forgiven? Okay, let's keep going.
So I showed up at your party. Yeah, I showed up at your party. Yeah, I showed up at your party. Will you have me? Will you love me? Will you kiss me on the porch in front of all your stupid friends?
I think that whenever she says in front of all of your stupid friends, she's talking about all of her friends that are maybe homophobic.
Will it be just like I dreamed it? Will it patch your broken wings? I'm only 17. I don't know anything, but I know I miss you. Sitting in your cardigan, kissing in my car again. Stopped at a streetlight, you know I miss
Oh, so beautiful. So James is there standing in the porch light in her cardigan. And that definitely gives me the queer vibes, because a lot of times when you're in a queer relationship, you'll wear the other person's clothing. So it's just like sharing her girlfriend's clothing. Kissing in your car, stopped at a street light. All of these go back to cardigan, and the newfound emotional directness will probably raise the odds of her apology to be taken seriously and to be forgiven. Really. And will you kiss me in front of all your stupid friends? It means so much more if we're talking about Betty being closeted. All of her stupid friends might be part of the reason why she's in the closet and not herself. Go back to cardigan. When you are young, they assume that you know nothing. Parents can talk that way, but friends can also talk that way as well. Maybe her friends tried to convince her that she's just confused about how she feels, that she's just confused about her sexuality. James is trying to see if Betty really does love her enough to kiss her in public. And you know that that's such a major risk if they're closeted and finally coming out and people knowing where you really stand. You know, straight people don't really have to deal with that. Betty and James, I mean, it's major to step out like that, because high school is this awkward time. You're recognizing that you have romantic feelings to each other, but it's still hard and uncomfortable to deal with all of that because of societal pressure, internalized homophobia. Not sure if you're ready to be out yet. I think that they have established that they have feelings toward each other. They're not really in a like out as a couple type of space. And that period of time is incredibly hard to navigate. And instead of being direct, there's a lot of avoiding each other. There's a lot more room for shades of gray and nuances if this is interpreted as a queer song. And I just think it's really beautiful. Can't wait to hear what you all think. Did I miss anything? Did I miss any clues about this? But I have so much compassion for James now. Now I'm like, oh, James, I just want to hug you. All right, get ready for James, the male James, to be bashed in the next video. All right, take care, you all.